And we're back with game 2 of Seto Delial. Seto has switched 8629, which has an element as well, I forgot. So why aren't people just using that pair? That pair seems better to me. 6289 gives him a 9 in 3 directions, and he has swapped out a 7645 for a 6672, which I do not see the obvious use of. Quickly checking for elementals. I believe the 8629 is wholly elemental. No card in Seto's hand can hit an elemental. Deli, it looks like, can hit the 9628 and 1, which is pretty unlikely. I also think I may have figured out how to include people in the same chat. All right. Let's see if we can fewer elements this game. Are any of the 8-9 corners unanswered? I think the 8629 in Seto's hand has less play against it. But the 6289, the 8 is also pretty strong here when next to an element. So there might be some activity here. Sorry, still organizing stuff. Too many messages. So I'm a little slow here, but hopefully that's okay. Yeah, so Piggy thinks his calculation skills were a little exposed there. Yeah, Piggy's not the fastest calculator, but he is a tremendously good player, and in time will calculate correctly enough to... he's actually my pick to make the finals from my side of the bracket in this tournament, to spoil my predictions bracket. I think he's playing awesome. I think like someone like Smokes is... or myself, or like, you know, various other players are going to be better in, say, a 2-minute format. Though, to be fair, Piggy absolutely whomped me when we played a 3-minute random recently. So, you know, mad credit to him everywhere. Smoke's idea is 6-2, 9-8 in 9. And that looks tricky for Deli's hand to deal with. But no, 6-2, 9-8, and 9 gives 7-6-4-5 play. So maybe not that tricky. And Deli's hand really has these 2 up cards that don't play well. I mean, these 2 cards that are weak going up. So yeah, I think making the game upward while using a low-level card, I think makes a lot of sense. Again, quite similar hands. The 7-6-4-5s seem like they cover, you know, obviously cover similar stuff a lot. Okay. 9-6-2-8 is barely covered, but it is. But if the 7-6-4-5 comes out of the hand, the 9-6-2-8 and 9 is no longer covered. Six two 9-8 is now a little better covered by Deli's hand than it was before in 3, because 9-6-2-8 and 2 now has a way to flip it. My instinct is that 6-4-5-7 doesn't have much play here. Maybe that's just wrong. Maybe as soon as 6-4-5-7 comes out of the hand, Seto plays 2-9-8-6 and 2, and you're like, shoot, I really needed that card. And then also I'd be worried that we've run out of ups. So maybe that's just a bad instinct. I was thinking 6-4-5-7 and 9 seemed like the natural way to do this, but I'm not so sure now. Hmm. 2-9-8-6 has the plus wall in 2 for Deli, which means maybe there's some reason to go in 7, because it could be harder for Seto to go in 4 and block the in-between square, because he potentially is comboed quite badly. On the other hand, he has, 3 of his cards can go in 4 due to the element and not be susceptible to combos. But I do think 7 is possible. I think 7 has a bunch of sense to it. I'm not entirely sure which card would go there, though, so maybe not. But I could imagine something like just even like 1, 7, 8, 9, and 7. Saying, if you go in 4, 2-9-8-6 lands nicely in 2. If you don't go in 4, I might play 2-9-8-6 there. If you ever capture... I don't actually have that much play there. Okay, not a great idea. Yeah, so Smoke's pointing out that if 2-9-8-6 captures immediately in 2, Seto can play 7-6-4-5 and 4, recapturing and setting up a plus in 5, which does control that move nicely. I think this is a good starter. And I think what this probably suggests is that the correct starter on this set is going to be a 7-6 corner. Is going to be, what's the 7-6 corner I can use, which my hand can recapture a little more comfortably than theirs, create some difficulty, uses one of the lower level cards more effectively, ideally uses the one that has fewer plus walls against their hand. I don't know what I'd do if I was Deli here. My first instinct was 6-4-5-7 and 9, because I don't think that card is much play. I think it's really hard to go in 3 unless you use one of the big cards. I just don't want a game facing up with both 1-7-8-9 and 2-9-8-6 in my hand. I think something Seto has done well here is the potential weakness in Deli's hand. And the reason, when I was running a similar hand, why I moved off using 1-7-8-9 is I felt I had this weakness going up that was hard to manage. Yeah, Piggy thinks this feels pretty strong for Seto. I agree. I don't think that means it is in any sense serious trouble yet, but Deli has to find something to clarify the position, I think. Or to do, he has to accomplish something on this move. He has to create some kind of difficulty. And I think fundamentally I want to play 6-4-5-7 and 9, but I think 2-9-8-6 and 2 is difficult to meet there. You don't have 7-6-4-5 in 4, that gets comboed. You don't have 9-6-2-8 in 4, that gets comboed. You have this issue with the 6s to the right. Your cards in 4 are pretty well covered. You don't have safety in 3 there. You probably need to have something in 6, but it's hard to have something in 6 when you have both 2-9-8-6 and 1-7-8-9 that have basically no plus potential in 5 there. So I think 9 is bad due to 2. So it is a difficult position. I wonder if you can just say 1-7-8-9 and 3. Just say, I know you have 2, I know you have 6, but you don't have both with the same card. Oh, you do have both with the same card. It's a terrible move. What an idiot. 8-6-2-9 is both squares. 8-6-2-9. Good change from Seto. Tough. I don't think you want to repeat what you did last game and go like 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6. Interesting. All right. So Seto did give up his capture in 6 here, and I know I said this card was only weak to 8 when Seto still had this in his hand. I was hoping this wouldn't come up again, so I wouldn't have to admit to being blind to that plus wall. But 9628 is only covered by 7645 in 8. So now Deli has a real threat, right? If Seto goes in 2, Deli has created a counter threat to go in 8. If Deli wants to capture this, whenever he does, the combo back actually flips his capture. So a couple things. One is Seto has some potential to just set up in 5. 6298 sets up 5. I don't think that's a very good move. It also sets up 4 quite nicely, but it doesn't play very well with 8. But it might be a decent move. I mean, it might be okay. There's ideas in 5. Are there ideas in 3? No. I like this move for Deli. I think this was smart. I'm going to go back to commentaries. Piggy also was looking at Ifrit in 9. I was looking at 6, 4, 5, 7, and 9, but I think this is better. I also like that I didn't realize this. I thought Deli had to use 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6 as recapture. 6, 4, 5, 7, and 6 is also a useful recapture. Piggy's instincts also said Ifrit in 6 was okay. I'm skeptical of that. His brain thinks it looks a bit crazy, but his gut says Ifrit in 6 was decent. I like this move. I think Deli's hand was such here that he had to create some kind of obstacle for Seto. And I was looking for a way to do so with the level 5s, and he found a better way to do so. And the one I looked at with a level 8 was a terrible idea. And this was a much better way to use a level 8. I think this is a good move. Deli does not have to use both his level 5s. Now, that doesn't mean he should look to like keep a useless one in his hand because he'll never have to use it, because like it's so easy for the 2986 and 1789 to be a problem. Right? And so I think if you're Deli here and you make it through this game, you don't win or lose, you should strongly consider subbing out one of those cards. Probably 1789, which is what I did. Like I went through this, like if you watch my games with Zelda, this is basically what happened is I came in with a hand that looked real similar to this, and I moved off it because I felt I had 2 redundant weakness, or maybe I did in the hand selection. I don't remember exactly. But I had this, I started using 1789 and I dropped it. I decided that the 986s were just performing way, way better. That the difference between the 8.6 and the 8.7, that the 8.6 often just played better anyway. And the 1 was an issue, and the 1 being up was an issue. It meant it couldn't pair with the 2986, it couldn't pair with a bunch of other cards I wanted it to work with. So I thought, I felt I had to move off hands like this. And I'm feeling like Deli probably has to as well. But I do think this was a good move, and I think Deli needs one more good move. But Seto also needs a good move, right? It's not like Seto just has a free advantage here. Like, maybe 2986 in 2 presses, but maybe it doesn't. 6457 controls that. Deli has time to go in 8. And as Smokes points out, the upward weakness of Deli, his 7645 basically sweeps Seto's hand. You know, any of the cards landing in practical squares except 2986 and 2 or 5, you know, 7645 is going to control every single other one of those going down. So as long as he finds a good use for 7645, maybe there is not such a significant upward weakness as it might look. It's a good point. It's a very good point. Deli says, same time, this 7-6-4-5 is too much on this set. No. No. I didn't mean to call. What? What's happening? End call. What happened? Discord panic. Panic at the Discord. That's a decent joke. Alright, so we do get 2, 9, 8, 6, and 2. Conventional move here, I think. When I say conventional, by the way, I think occasionally it sounds negative, but like conventional moves are usually the best moves. My my advice for people, not that many people ask me for advice, but my advice is in general playing more conventionally. Look for reasons to do the conventional thing rather than reasons not to. So Deli did create something here. He created, I can now go an 8, and I have potential safety. Now, there's a bunch of things to worry about there, and I do not like the structure after 8 very much. Seto could go 5. For instance, 6, 2, 9, 8 creates an immediate threat to go in 6, and Deli has to be very careful. Seto can also go in 3, can go in 4, or can go in 7. So my problem with moves in 8 is not that I think they're usually losing, it's that you have to check so many things and you will not have time to efficiently check them all. So it is somewhat out of your control whether or not you are losing. Therefore, I would look at squares like 3 or 6 or 4 first. Now, 4 is tough to make work. If 7, 6, 4, 5, and 4, you have given up your card that controls up, and 6, 2, 9, 8, and 5 probably just blows you up. Sets up play for Seto in 6. It doesn't set up play for you anywhere. That looks dead to me. So I think 4 is not the answer. So then the question becomes 3, 6, or 8. Now I'm starting to think, what if it's 3? My point in 3 is if you flip 2, then when they go 6, it is okay to use your 1, 7, 8, 9 or your 2, 9, 8, 6, and 5 to capture the card in 6 because you don't actually need to capture the card in 2. But the downside is Seto still has that plus wall in 8, and that's going to flip the card in 9, which is going to flip back the card in 6. Also, when you do go in 5, which card are we going with there with? If we use 1, 7, 8, 9 in 5, that gives 8, 6, 2, 9 a plus in 4. And if we use 2, 9, 8, 6, that does seem better. But I still think it is the problem that they still have to play against Ifrit. So I feel like 3 isn't quite working, which makes me want 6, but it's hard to have a setup in 6 here. So that might bring us back to 8, but 8 doesn't look great. Gonna be a tough position. Can we go 5? Just occupy that square and try to say, like, you don't have 3 and I have a threat in 3 that can combo back 5? Like 2, 9, 8, 6, and 5? Is that crazy? That might be crazy. If they go 8, you have the combo back in 6. Both players have a same in 4, but I think the second turn player is more likely to get it. If they go 3... If they go 3, it's probably a problem. Yeah, so Piggy and Smokes are trying to block 8, and Omega is really weak here. Yeah, so Piggy's instinct is 6, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Smoke's instinct is burn Omega as quick as I can. maybe Omega 8. I think fundamentally, when you make a move like that, you are saying, I cannot calculate out to the end of the game, which you can't here, or humans can't. It's just, there's too much going on, especially with E. But I do not see a loss, and this does get a card out of my hand that I need out of my hand. And maybe it's hard for you to go 5 there. 6, 2, 8, 9, that gives me 4 if I want it. 8, 6, 2, 9 also gives me 4 for 6, 4, 5, 7. 7, 6, 4, 5 there. At least doesn't create any threat. But I think this is a difficult position. I think this is a tough position, despite thinking Deli made a good first move. And I think it's that Omega and 2986, the 2 level 8s, are so poor in this position. And that makes it tough. Now, I think if you go 8, I don't think you're dead to 3. I think you can survive anything in 3. It's my instinct. I'm not sure. I also think you can survive 7. It's hard to play in 5. The move I'd expect to be deadliest there is 4, actually. And I'm not sure which card you'd want to put there. This might be a spot that looks worse than it is. So he has picked up Omega. Because as soon as any card comes out of Seto's hand, maybe the position starts looking a lot better. I don't think we want Omega 3. I don't think we want Omega 6. So I assume Omega 8's happening, but it could be one of the other squares. Very complicated position for Delial's perspective. I do like getting Omega out of the hand. I don't see a move here that doesn't feel like a real concession. And as a commentator, I haven't calculated deeply enough to be confident on things that hold. But I also, as I said, I think moves in 8, the opponent has too many viable options for you to ever calculate out fully, which is why I really try to avoid such moves. He's put Omega back down. All right, he's gone with 6, 4, 5, 7. Plot twist. And now it's scary. It's very scary. This is safe to 7. And I think that really helps in a lot of lines. For instance, if something goes in 3, Deli takes from 6, Seto takes in 5, Deli does something in 4, it is really useful that Seto has no captures of 8 from 7 at the end. On the other hand, that looks like still pretty good for Seto, right? 6, 2, 9, 8, and 3. If Deli takes 7, 6, 4, 5, and 6, Deli leads 6, 4. If Seto plays 8, 6, 2, 9, and 5 there, it becomes 5, 5. And I think 7, 6, 4, 5 wins at the end, because Deli's weak cards going up means he can't play safely in 7. The 4 overpowers. And if he goes in 8, 7, 6, 4, 5 has the space covered. Seto, Smoke's pointing out he's made a dead space in 7 for Seto. And I think he kind of has, but I think it still might not be good enough. So if 6, 2, 8, 9, and 3, we can't go 6. Or at least we can't go 6 with the capture. Maybe we can go 6, but it's 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6 is the key. So 6, 2, 9, 8, and 3, 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6, and Seto has no captures. I think that holds. And specifically, if 8, 6, 2, 9, and 5, you cannot play 7, 6, 4, 5, and 7 because... Oh, you can. You can. Okay, but you could also play it in 4. So I think 6, 2, 9, 8, and 3, you can probably block 6. Smoke's saying 7, 6, 4, 5 in 7. 8, 6, 2, 9 controls a lot of space there. That is scary. Maybe you can play against 6298. Maybe that card's kind of dead. So maybe you can get away with 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6 there. It's 5-5. If you go 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6, and they put something in 4, you can just take it, and they will only take 1 back, so you tie. If they go in 5, you go 4 and you tie, I think. Yeah. If they go 3, that's probably the critical move. If they go 3, my point was you can play 7, 6, 4, 5, and 5, and 8, 6, 2, 9 only has the 1 capture at the end. I think that ties. I think Robot 7 is met by Omega 6. And I think 6, 2, 9, 8, 3 is also met by Omega 6. So my default move here is Omega 6, which sounds like a sci-fi planet. Got a wee bit distracted because reasons. Not good reasons, but reasons. And, all right. But fundamentally, this is a position where Seto gets to look for a way to attack. If Deli survives, that shows he had really strong instincts on his move in 8, that he, found a card that worked. Because he can't have calculated everything, but Deli's instincts are superb. If it doesn't work, I think that speaks to this type of move just being really dangerous. But I do think Robot 7 is met by 6. I think 6, 2, 9, 8, 3 also met by Omega 6. There's also 6, 2, 8, 9, and 5. Giving up 4 is something we have going for us. I am rooting for Deli, that's probably pretty clear. What I was distracted, by the way, was picking a group avatar for the Smoke and Piggy chat, where this discussion is happening. And the avatar I picked was I googled smoking pig. So I had thought at the start, right, that 4 was the scariest. I don't know if I still think that, though. So what happens if Deli plays... I should say Omega 6 because that's our game plan here. But let's for once go Omega 7, right? Let's not use Omega. Let's go 2, 9, 8, 6, 7. Because if 8, 6, 2, 9, and 5, it is still 5, 5. 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6 will get the tie. If 6, 2, 8, 9, and 5, then 7, 6, 4, 5, and 6 will get the tie. If Seto goes 6, he just loses. There's no reason to go 6. Yeah, there's not tricks there. And if Seto goes 3, so we've gone 2, 9, 8, 6, and 7. If Seto goes 6, 2, 9, 8 in 3, then Deli has at least a tie with 1, 7, 8, 9, and 5. And if Seto goes 8, 6, 2, 9, and 3, Same thing? Yeah. So I think Deli can tie in 7. Obviously, we gotta check 1, 7, 8, 9, and 6 because that has been my move in every variation. So let's check that. If Seto goes in... Notably, Seto 7's still a dead square for Seto, right? So like blocking 7 makes some sense because it's a free square, but like leaving it open, you know? So if Omega 6, if Seto goes in 3, Deli plays 7, 6, 4, 5, 5, and he wins. If Seto goes in 5, oh, this probably loses actually. Yeah, 6, 2, 9, 8, and 5. So 6 doesn't work. Omega 6, this is not the time for Omega 6. Shame, because I like that move. I'm pretty sure that 2, 9, 8, 6, and 7 is a tie. And I'm pretty sure there's not a win. So I'm going to start seeing what other people have to say, but that is my evaluation. Just typing at people, give me a moment. Yeah, Turds has returned, so it was giving him the brief fill-in. Kudos to Deli for finding moves this game. I think this would have been an incredibly easy game to lose, and I don't think he has. Smokes thinks 2, 9, 8, 6, and 7 loses. But why? Is there 8, 6, 2, 9, and 6? That'd be crazy. No. There isn't. Alright, so, okay, I got scared there, but I think 2, 9, 8, 6, and 7 is the tie. Now, with 4 moves left, you can never be sure someone will find a tie. Every single player on the site I have a decent sample of games of has blown a position with 4 moves to go. Now, it should be noted, I don't have a very good collection of Seto's games. He, in my recollection, has never blown it, but everyone else has. So if this does tie, that doesn't mean Deli is guaranteed to find it, but it does look like he's picked it up. We all agree the robot has been MVP of this game. That was not my move. Cute idea, though. The point is, 7 is still dead to Seto. If Seto plays 6, 2, 9, 8 there, Deli can just block 6. And if Seto plays 8, 6, 2, 9 there, Deli can actually play 1, 7, 8, 9, and 3, and he wins. If Seto plays in 6, Deli plays in 7. And if Seto plays in 3, Deli takes it from 6. So actually, yeah, forced move, and a nice way to tie it. Smoke says great top level game of TTA. Yeah, I think this was a very fine game of Triple Triad. And a cute finish. So, alright, that ends game 2. Smokes points out a great top-level game of TTA with exactly 0 takes. And that is what we're going to see here. No captures this game. Yeah, this is like when you get 2 hyped football teams and they play out the dullest 0-0. This was not a dull game of Triple Triad. He's being very rude here. I like the sentiment. Yeah, but the true passionate fans of football are raving over the setups and how they nullified each other with top-level tactics. Yeah, this was a great game of Triple Triad. We should be true fans. Yeah. All right, so I think they're gonna take another pause. I will again divide up video, and I will be back shortly. I guess for you probably in 2 days because that's my general release of recordings time. But shh. Thus ends game 2.